She invited me to her company's rooftop soiree, then stood by while another man humiliated me in front of 100 watching eyes like I was nothing more than an afterthought. Liam Reynolds was never the kind of man who belonged under chandeliers or among polished glass towers. He was built from sweat, steel, and a kind of quiet integrity most people didn't recognize until it was gone. He ran a respected garage on Chicago's South Side, a place where trust mattered more than polish and your word carried weight. He didn't fit in with the catered elegance of cocktail hours. But that night he showed up for her, Vanessa. She had obsessed over the event for weeks. New dresses, perfect heels, appointments to fix her hair just right. It had been years since she'd cared that much about how she looked, and Liam noticed. He just didn't understand what it meant at the time. The rooftop shimmered with string lights strung, like constellations across the skyline. Waiters floated between sleek suits and sharp heels, trays balanced with flutes of champagne and bite-sized indulgence. Liam stood at the edge, nursing a drink he didn't touch, a man in a world that had no place for grit under his fingernails. Vanessa moved through the crowd like she'd been born into it, smiling, laughing, magnetic, and barely glanced in his direction. He told himself it was nerves. Maybe she was just trying to impress her co-workers. Maybe the distance was her way of fitting in. But the way people looked at him? The forced smiles, whispered comments, sideways glances, it wasn't random. They knew something he didn't. Then she approached, another man trailing just behind her, taller, sleeker. The kind of guy who smirked like every room already owed him something. Austin, she said, like she was introducing a friend. Liam caught how close the man stood, how his presence pressed in like an assertion. So you're the husband? Austin asked, tone soaked in sarcasm. Heard a lot about you. Before Liam could respond, Austin added, I'm going to dance with her. No request, just audacity dressed up in arrogance. Vanessa didn't blink. She touched Austin's arm and smiled. You don't need his permission, she said softly. Come on. That wasn't flirtation. That was a blade. Liam watched them disappear into the crowd, her body sliding into Austin's like it had done 100 times. His hand settled on her waist with the ease of familiarity, and she didn't pull away. She leaned into him. The room slowed. Conversations dulled. Phones tilted up, capturing what they couldn't quite believe. Then Austin turned, locked eyes with Liam, and slid his fingers under Vanessa's blouse. Not fast, not accidental. Deliberate, possessive. The glass slipped from Liam's hand and shattered at his feet. He stepped forward, his voice low but sharp. Get your hands off my wife. Music cut. The air snapped still. Austin smirked. What are you going to do? Tough guy. She's not your property. Liam didn't raise his voice. He didn't argue. He just shifted his jacket open, just enough to reveal the holster beneath. A message, not a threat. I am not defenseless. Back away, he said calmly. Vanessa froze. Her mouth open as if to say something, but all that came was a flicker of something unreadable. Guilt, maybe. But Austin didn't stop. He couldn't help himself. Maybe she just prefers a real man, he sneered, over some washed-up grease monkey. Liam moved. One step. One punch. And Austin hit the floor, crashing into a table with a thud that silenced the rooftop entirely. Glass shattered again and gasps echoed off the walls. Some people screamed. Others clapped. Security moved fast. Austin didn't get back up. He just lay there, clutching his face, blood painting his polished image. And then Vanessa turned, not toward Austin, but toward Liam. What is wrong with you? She shouted, as if he'd been the one to betray her. You embarrass me. Liam stood still, blinking like he'd just stepped out of a nightmare. He touched you, he said slowly, disbelief thick in his throat. And you're mad at me? She didn't flinch. She didn't soften. She unleashed a storm, blaming him for everything. Ruining the night. Public embarrassment. The fallout she hadn't expected. But the truth didn't wait. It arrived like a landslide just days later. Vanessa and Austin had been having an affair for almost a year. The party wasn't just a company gathering. It was her twisted way of unveiling it, of humiliating Liam one final time. Everyone at that rooftop had known. Some had even been rooting for them. Liam had been the only one left in the dark. Videos of the altercation spread fast. Austin's behavior, caught in full color, left the company no choice. He was fired within a week. Too inappropriate. Too public. Vanessa's world didn't hold up either. Clients dropped her. Her team distanced themselves. Her charm turned cold overnight. The same crowd she tried to impress no longer wanted her around. Liam never raised his voice. Never begged. Never tried to fix what she had burned to the ground. He filed for divorce quietly, backed by video proof and undeniable betrayal. The court sided with him. So did the public. What Vanessa tried to turn into performance art became her unraveling. Months later, Liam doesn't talk about that night with rage. He remembers it with clarity. It wasn't just about cheating. It was about how easily she erased him, how little it took for her to treat him like a stranger. He knows now, love without respect is just manipulation in prettier packaging. Anyone who can humiliate you in front of an audience never truly valued you in private. That night wasn't the end of anything. It was the beginning. The night he walked away, he found something he'd lost for too long himself. And if any of this sounds familiar, remember this. Self-worth isn't something you wait to be handed. You decide it. You guard it. You leave the moment someone treats your loyalty like a burden.